Spirit Quest, a novel by Levi Sweeney, read by the author. Chapter 2. After flying down the Blue Desert Highway until about noon, I stopped in Lee City. Lee City is a little hamlet, a very small town, situated along the road leading out of Prefecture 40 and into Prefecture 39. It isn't a city at all, really. It is barely even a very small town, but it has an electric vehicle charging station, and my hovercar needed sparks. I moved into a more temperate zone of the intermediate area. The Blue Desert was oppressively humid, and the distant lime-green sun was shielded by blood-red clouds. I cruised my hovercar onto the grounds of Lee City Service Station and parked. I was immediately greeted by a short, fit young man, a teenager even younger than myself. He wore a brand-new, bright red uniform with his first name on a patch affixed to the torso. He had a tool belt on, and sturdy black work boots, which I also knew were very cheap. "Welcome to Lee City Service Station, sir," he said amiably. "Do you want me to charge your hovercar?" I nodded in the affirmative, and tried to appear indifferent. Lee City is named for General Shangley, a distinguished military leader from some long-ago war. He is forgotten elsewhere, but not on Luth. I'm sure plenty of people in Lee City don't just remember him, but love him. "Wow," said the young man in the bright red uniform. "You must have been driving for a long time, mister. Your hovercar is almost out of sparks." I was a cool and cold young man, intense and focused even at 19. "Just charge it, please," I said brusquely. "I'm in a hurry." "That's what I'm here for, sir," said the station clerk. Feel free to browse the station's convenience store if you like. Thanks." The young man, whose name, per his uniform's name tag, was Gavin, started monkeying around with my hovercar, before fixing a large tube links to a central hub at the station to a special socket on the car. He mashed some buttons on an electronic device he held. I had never left Prefecture 40 until that execrable day in my life. I knew how to get to other places, of course, but I had never left the area. What was Prefecture 40 like, gentle reader? Well, it was slow-paced, isolated, with earnest but insular people who looked after their own. "Should be charged in just another minute, sir," said Gavin. "Thanks," I said quietly. I realized then that I was thirsty, possibly dehydrated. I then said to Gavin, "Can I still buy a bottle of chilled water for 200 won?" Gavin smiled, then melted away. "It's 300 won now, actually," he said, as if he were ashamed of the fact. "That's fine," I said. "Sure, I'll get it for you after I'm done here." "Thanks." The equipment Gavin was operating whirred, beeped, and vibrated before shutting off automatically. My hovercar was now ready and fully charged. "All right," said Gavin. "That's 1,000 hours of electricity, all topped off. With that water bottle plus tax, that'll be 10,890 won. "Sure," I said. "Do you take cash?" "Cash is fine, sir," he said brightly. "Thanks." I took out my wallet and then gave him the money. Gavin counted out the cash, a true professional. "All right, 5,000, 10,000, 11,000. Keep the change," I said. "Very good, sir," said Gavin, putting the cash in a pouch on his belt. "I'll get your chilled water." Gavin went into the station, leaving me alone briefly. I thought, well, 300 won for a bottle of chilled water. I know it was 200 won a year ago. 3 years ago it was 50 won. Gavin returned with a tall aluminum can painted deep blue. "All right, here's your bottle of chilled water, sir," said Gavin, offering me the can, which I accepted. "Thanks," I said, before deciding to say something polite. "What's your name, man?" Gavin Johnson. Any relation to Ralph Johnson?" Gavin became as silent as a mausoleum. He then said, speaking softly, almost in a whisper, "My cousin, actually. Do you know him?" "Yeah, best friend in advanced school. He went to space after graduation on a freighter." "Huh. I guess on a planet this small you don't run into too many people named Johnson." "Yeah, true." "You know your cousin well?" "Like brothers. We were in beginner school together, then intermediate school. After my folks split, my dad took Ralph with him." "You guys ever talk at all?" I asked blandly. "Every few months," said Gavin, now sounding cagey. "Can't say much more than that, though, Mr. Sorry, what's your name?" Andy Solarin," I said, just a touch more amiably. "It's been great talking to you, Gavin. Going back this way anytime soon?" "I don't know. Not sure I want to. Mind if I ask why?" "Yes." Gavin gave me a funny look, a look better suited for a man of 70 and not so much for a boy of 17. "Look, Mr. Solarin," said Gavin slowly, If you were best friends with the nearest person I had to an older brother, well, what? I bit out, harsher than I intended. Gavin looked as stoic as a lone wolf. He said with a slight twang, "Just feel like I have a responsibility to old Ralph to make sure a friend of his isn't in trouble or something." I began, but then let out a heavy sigh. I felt sick to the core. I was not treating Gavin well. I was ashamed of myself for my rudeness. I said, more gently, "I'm sorry I got short with you. You're right. Well, I'm not in trouble. Not yet, anyway." "Not a good answer, sir, if you don't mind me saying so." I frowned heavily and breathed out hard through my nose. I began, looking for the right word. "I guess you could say, I still haven't found what I'm looking for." Gavin. "Well, Mr. Solarin, whatever it is you are looking for, follow the spirit." I felt as if I had just heard a mysterious but delightful strain of music somewhere behind me. Only a matter of seconds passed before I replied, "What did you say?" "I said, follow the spirit," said Gavin, shrugging his shoulders before folding his skinny arms. "I'm not religious now, but I was raised that way." "Really?" "Yep. Sometimes, when I'm working at the service station, I meet somebody like you who's having a rotten day, like me. Yeah, like you. When I meet somebody like that, I say, follow the spirit, like my mom used to say before she... I felt like my stomach had been struck with a cannonball. I breathed out heavily and relaxed my tense body language. I looked Gavin in the face and saw that his eyes were green and fresh as his soul. "I'm sorry, Gavin," I said.